let's move on to I think some topics that interest people from all over the world. MMA. What do you think of the recent developments concerning the UFC, especially with Flash Entertainment or the Abu Dhabi government purchasing a 10% stake recently, and there will probably be a UFC event this year in Abu Dhabi as close as April. What do you think of that development?
That was a good investment.
As a person who has been there since the beginning, how I mean,
UFC is still a baby. UFC is about maybe 10 years old right now. So it's still a lot to grow. It's still a lot to grow. It's a 10 years old kid right now. There's still a lot of opportunity. The doors are still that we haven't seen nothing yet. We haven't seen nothing yet.
Well,
so it's gonna grow a lot still. So it was a good move for the Abu Dhabi. It was a good move for the UFC.
So it's a win-win situation in your opinion?
For both sides, yes. But there's a lot of space to grow, a lot.
What were the UFC lacking, in your opinion? You said they're still a baby. What were they lacking for this to be a successful partnership? I mean, why would they need the Abu Dhabi government for them to grow? I mean, I mean, everyone knows what they've been saying. It's because to grow in this part of the region. But you said they're still a baby. But do you mean the same thing? Do you mean growth?
Well, right now, yeah. It started in Brazil, and nobody knew anything about it. It came to America. It spread all over the world. From America, you went to Japan, to Europe, Africa. But we have not got, UFC have not got to the Arabic community, to the Chinese community, the Indian community. And those three together are the biggest in the world. It's like they're the ones that control the world practically. So UFC wants to get into that kind of crowd. You see, the ones that are on the top, the ones that control the world on the market. There's more Chinese, Indian, and Arab people than any other race in the world.
You've been to China actually recently, yes, for the Art of War organization. How did you see the attention or the Chinese people?
It's still proof. Man, it's still a 5-year-old baby over there, 3-year-old baby. There is so, but that's question of, because it is new. The sport is new. Jiu-Jitsu is new. MMA is new. So it's just question. It takes a time to educate the crowd. Look how long it took America. 17, 18 years. Now it's on the mainstream after 18 years. So in China, it's been going on for the last 4, 5 years maybe. So it's still very young. You gotta give time. You gotta be patient and stick to it. And it's enough, man. And once you grow, so for the UFC, you got so much more space to grow still all over the world.
And let's keep talking about the UFC. What do you think of the Gracie comeback to the UFC? We have Renzo fighting probably in Abu Dhabi, and we have Hollis fighting next month. I mean, when was the last time?
Abu Dhabi, yeah, on the UFC, yes. Yeah. Not the Abu Dhabi BCC tournament. Yeah. Let's be clear that, yeah.
But
that would be good, man.
I mean, you were I think you're the last Gracie to fight in the UFC.
Yes.
So
and then Hollis is fighting next month.
Yeah, and then Renzo in April. So tell me, what do you think of Hollis' chances? I think it's the first time he'll be fighting in an octagon, in a cage. It's his fourth fight professionally.
That makes much of a difference. Octagon, cage, ring. Which one do you like the most? Pepsi or Coca-Cola? Doesn't matter, man. It doesn't make a difference. I don't drink neither, but whatever pays you the most. Hey, a cage, a ring, whichever one pays the most. That's the one you're gonna go for. Doesn't make you adapt yourself. Human nature, man. We adapt ourselves to whatever situation we get into. Cage, ring, doesn't matter. But Holly should do good. He's very strong, very. He got to get some experience. That's what. But with time, man, that comes with time.
Do you think his fights in China, the 2 fights in China, and you've attended both his fights in China? Do you think this will help him in?
Oh yes. He's used to the jet lag, and now he's going from New York to Las Vegas, so there's not much of a jet lag over there. So it's more of getting used to the crowd, so you don't get what they call stage fright.
It's a completely different crowd in the U.S. than.
Doesn't matter. U.S., China, Japan. Doesn't matter where you go, man. The crowd's a crowd, but a lot of people get stage fright. Doesn't matter where you are. So fighting in China, fighting anywhere, you just get used to the crowd, to the lights, to the.
I just remembered a topic that's worth talking about, and it's still about Hollis. He recently awarded Rashad Evans a black belt, and before his fight against Thiago Silva. And a lot of people in the internet community, on the MMA forums, were against this move because they felt that awarding a black belt to a guy that has never wore a gi before, a jiu-jitsu gi.
How'd they know?
Well, I
How
think
did they know when his time off he doesn't train jiu-jitsu?
No, I think Rashad would admit that he has never trained under a gi. But
if he never trained, then I understand. Hey, because you're a wrestling champion and you're good, doesn't make sense to get a belt because you don't wear a belt. But if you do train, like Saint Pierre trains with the gi, he goes to Brazil, trains with the gi, trains no gi, does both. So
I think it was more
I don't know the situation. I can't give much of opinion on that.
The explanation was that Rashad, when competing in no-gi competitions, it wouldn't make sense for him to compete under a white belt category. That was the explanation.
Even in the no-gi, they have a belt system. No wonder I'm wearing my blue belt. If there is no gi, how can you get promoted to a... I don't know, man.
Okay, about Renzo. He's fighting Matthews.
That's a good match. That's a good matchup. Now, I'm actually anxious to see that one.
When people talk about it being a revenge or a grudge match, does it make you anxious that you want Matthews to feel...
Well, it's a revenge and grudge match. Maybe I don't think Renzo is doing this fight to revenge me. We don't have this kind of stuff in the Gracie family. If I have to revenge, I will have to do it myself. But Renzo is doing it because he got proposed to him. You see. But if they're thinking about a grudge match, well, Pat Miletich lost to Renzo, so maybe Matt Hughes is the one that wants to avenge Pat Miletich.
And Matt Serra just lost to Matt Hughes, and Matt Serra trains under Renzo.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways that people can go, but I don't think that's reality. That's not in reality. That's not what's happened. It's just the fight got presented, and the matchmakers think that will be the best match for both of them. That will be an exciting match.
What does Renzo have to do to win?
Yeah, Renzo can outbox him. And I think Renzo can. He definitely can outbox him, and he can outgrapple him. So it's just gotta train. If you got the right game, got the right strategy, you got everything to win.